The 1995 Honda Del Sol VTEC, the third of 20 Hondas I've owned in my life. I traded in my second Honda, a 1993 Del Sol SI, in for the 95 VTEC model brand new after only 1 year. In my last video, I spoke about the 93 feeling like it was soft. The word was out now that Honda had released a new high-powered engine. Honda dropped the first dual overhead cam VTEC B16A engine in the United States with 160 horsepower and only 1.6 liters. This is the first production engine to achieve 100 horsepower per liter and redline at 8,000 RPMs. This combo matched the performance of the 1.8 liter dual overhead cam VTEC in the Acura Integra GS-R. Honda had now also in the past 2 years significantly hardened up the suspension on the Del Sol SI models. Then they released the dual overhead cam VTEC Del Sol model, which today would be called a Type R level upgrade of the chassis for support. The performance numbers show this. Suspension upgrades even on the weak stock tire and wheel combos increased the lateral Gs to 0.89. Replaced with a higher performance setup and the go-kart handling popped out. This is actually common across all Honda models in all years for handling. If there was any doubt, the Del Sol VTEC was just as fast as a 5.0 liter Mustang GT with over 3 times the engine displacement being 800 pounds lighter. The 1995 Del Sol VTEC is the most underrated Honda built in the past 40 years. Unfortunately, they only produced 6,000 VTECs in total, so it was rare. The Del Sol still took a lot of heat even by some Honda enthusiasts who were stuck on their opinion of the Del Sol based on the soft 93 models and wouldn't come around. But saying that, even in 95 through 97, the internet was toxic and the B16A engine created a lot of jealousy. However, if you owned a Del Sol in 1995, you found yourself not only in the throes of Gen X shifting their love of cars to Honda, but as a subset owner of the Del Sol, you found yourself in the middle of some of the most hardcore Honda fans of the day. For many, the Del Sol had a love-hate relationship, but Del Sol owners absolutely loved their cars. Club Sol proves this. Let's talk about it and fight the revisionist history out there because this is real Honda history. I created Club Sol, the Honda Del Sol enthusiast club on the internet in 1995 just after the internet switched from Gopher on Unix servers to HTML pages. As you can see, like most pages back then, it was all basic HTML. Within 3 years, Club Sol had over 1,000 paying memberships and had serviced over 25,000 Del Sol owners. This is amazing considering Honda only released a total of 75,000 Del Sols, and this was the early internet before it was mainstream and backed by dial-up modems. By 1997, Club Sol already had chapters around the United States and several more around the world, producing dozens of local and several national meetings. Del Sol owners loved their cars, that's for damn sure. I eventually had to give up Club Sol since it was a drain on my finances and people weren't happy that I had traded my Del Sol in for this by 1999. What can I say? This was my late college car, which meant that even 30 years later, it's the car I grew up with and loved more than any other. I feel like I can say this today, even after owning 3 Honda S2000s. Of all the 20 Hondas I've ever owned, I modified this Del Sol the most, even though it would be considered mild. I loved my 15-inch Antero wheels. They dramatically increased handling. I was lucky considering I had migrated a pair of ugly 16-inch Borbet wheels from my 93 SI, and they quickly got stolen. This is a picture of my Del Sol. It's a long story. I'll leave it up to your imagination. I installed a cold air intake, Clifford alarm, Cat's replacement aux lights, a new stereo deck, amp, and one of the first 6-disc CD changers. Finally, I got my hands on an Ameripole clear target top since I was selling them through Club Sol. This replaced an aluminum shell with a see-through plexiglass panel that you swap the locking mechanisms to. Unfortunately, the thing had a problem flexing above 80 miles per hour, so I rarely used it since I seem to be usually driving that fast. In conclusion, good luck finding a VTEC model today or any clean Del Sol. 95 to 97 was the massive rise of the Honda aftermarket scene, and the uber enthusiast Del Sol owners were already heavily modifying theirs. It was fun watching this Honda market absolutely explode and watching what owners were doing with it. Turbos and superchargers started showing up on these cars, and they were pulling 11-second quarter miles. This Del Sol was my golden age of driving because after this I had to grow up a little bit since, like many Gen Xers, I started having kids. Although, I still had a lot of fun Hondas as we will get into in future episodes. Stick around!